I'm Cassie.
And I'm Liz. And welcome to our second podcast.
Yes, welcome. And if you haven't watched our first episode or listened to it, go listen to it so you know what we're about.
Yeah, because if you don't, you have no idea what you're in for. It's really bad.
It's the worst.
But we're glad you're here.
Yeah, we are.
So, quick life update. I've been watching The Big Bang Theory for like the last month and a half for the 6th time because of Young Sheldon. I didn't watch Young Sheldon when it first came out, but I just recently watched the first, 5 seasons or whatever, and then I felt like I had to go back and watch The Big Bang Theory to see if they kept it consistent.
Yeah. I've only watched like a couple episodes with you of that show. How many seasons are there of The Big Bang Theory and how many seasons are there of Young Sheldon?
I think there's 10 of The Big Bang Theory, and I think they're coming out with season 7 in February of Young Sheldon. It's still running.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
wow.
So it's a good show. Both of them are really funny. I think my problem with that I'm having right now is that there are some inconsistencies between The Big Bang Theory and then what they portray in Young Sheldon.
Oh.
For example, in the big spoiler alert, don't watch this if you haven't watched either of the shows and you're planning on watching them. There is an episode, season, I want to say 4 or 5, in The Big Bang Theory, where Leonard's bully comes back to meet him, his bully from high school. And that actor is the actor that plays Sheldon's dad in Young Sheldon. And it's very obvious.
Right.
Also, fun fact, the mom that plays Sheldon that plays Sheldon's mom in The Big Bang Theory, her daughter, her real life daughter, plays Sheldon's mom in Young Sheldon.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Wow. That is
they
wild.
really kept it in the family.
Yeah. Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
That is cool. Yeah. I feel like I wouldn't notice those things. Like going through it the first time, watching it, and then watching Young Sheldon if I were to do it. Like you have to be a super fan to notice inconsistencies.
I wouldn't say I'm a super fan. I'm just I love to pick out the crap.
Yeah.
The crap portions of films and stuff like that. And I don't think any of Big Bang Theory or Young Sheldon is crap. I just think that I'm always tuned in on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like film. I took one film class in college, and it ruined movies for like ever for me. Because all you do is pick out inconsistencies.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating.
You're like the person that noticed the coffee cup in Game of Thrones.
Yep. Or like that their beer was half full.
Oh.
Like right before he was like, okay, I'm going to go to bed, and then they pan back and the beer's completely empty. It's like, when did he drink it?
Right.
When did he drink it?
When did that happen?
Gran Turismo. Anyways, any life updates for you?
Nothing significant. I would say the only shows that I'm watching. Oh, you know what is a life update? I was on, I don't know if it was Instagram or TikTok, but I was on one of them, and I saw a clip from Romy and Michelle's high school reunion, I think is the movie. I've never seen it, so I rented it, but I still have not watched it. Like, I rented it on Amazon Prime because I was like, I have to watch this movie.
That's about just as big of a life update as my watching Big Bang Theory for the 6th time in a row.
Yeah.
We're pretty boring.
Yeah.
But today we're going to be talking about minor inconveniences.
Yes.
The worst.
The worst of them.
The worst of them.
Yeah.
And you all are going to resonate with this because I guarantee you're going to be like, oh, there's no minor inconveniences in my life. It's like, no, there are.
You have them.
You have them. They're there.
Yeah.
My first one, and I think this is just, I don't know if this is me, but I hate the person I become when I walk into a grocery store and I see that they've rearranged everything.
Oh, that's a good one.
I am like very inconvenienced by that, especially if it's the grocery store that I'm going to like every week.
Yeah.
And everything's moved around.
Right. That's like, I don't even know if I've ever noticed that because I always go to like the same one that's like 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
And it hasn't changed in the last, like, I don't know how long. But I do notice it. Like, if I go to a Fry's in Prescott and then I go to a Fry's in Phoenix.
Oh.
and they're completely different.
You have no idea where you're going.
No idea. Even though everything looks the same,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh yeah, like I'll be
It's
fine.
fries. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm like, wait, this is nothing like it.
No, and then you're walking around and you look like that idiot in the grocery store who doesn't know what they're there for.
Yeah.
Which I am consistently, but like, no, it's so frustrating.
It is frustrating.
It
Yeah. It angers me. Especially because then it makes you spend way longer in the grocery store.
right.
And I hate going to the grocery store
I'm an in and out.
anyways.
I'm an in and out
Yeah.
kind of girl.
If I am thinking about it, I'll just order my groceries. And then you just go and they like come down to your car. Some people just like sit there and let them load your car.
That's
Which,
rude.
like, I know. Like, I guess
not their job.
nothing against those people. Like, they're getting paid to do that,
I guess.
But I always get out of my car and, like, am,
Yeah, what
like,
if they put a
awkwardly
tracking device?
grabbing. Yeah.
I just,
stick
like-
an AirPod or an AirTag in there.
I just don't trust people enough for them to be putting groceries in my car.
I don't either.
think that's just.
Yeah, especially because I always have random things in my trunk.
Yeah.
Like, random,
7-inch
like,
dildo.
no. Like, random clothes that I just carry around with me, or like
Yeah.
my dog Luna's leash and like harness,
Junk in the trunk.
junk in the trunk. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, what if they wanted to steal that?
Yeah.
Not saying that they're bad people and they would, but
Yeah, it's that one for me is top of the list
yeah.
for sure. And I think that I've noticed it so much more in the last maybe 5 or 6 years
Right. Because you're going to the grocery store.
because I'm
more.
going to the grocery store all the time.
Yeah.
And so even when it's one item and I know exactly where it's supposed to be and it's not there,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
And everyone will just ask. They don't know.
They don't know. No.
They have no idea. They're like, aisle 75.
Yeah.
There is no aisle 75.
Yeah. They know just about as much as you do. And then they're always like, they'll never, I've had a handful that have walked me to the aisle
Wow.
to like show me where it is, but the rest of them are just like, oh yeah,
Over there.
go over there, and they point.
Yeah. You're like,
And
what
I'm
are you
like,
pointing at?
Yeah, like where? What? They're like, oh yeah, it's over there by the beans. I'm like, there's 6 different kinds of beans, and they're all spread out through this one
Yeah.
aisle. Like, what beans is it by?
They're also in 3 different aisles generally. You have
And
like
then-
the canned goods and then the Hispanic
Yeah.
aisle where they have those beans.
the
It's like,
dry beans.
Yeah.
That you have to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say that every time that happens, and I go to where they tell me to go to, and then I can't find it, I will search the store. I will like inconveniently walk across the store to find that same person and be like, I couldn't find it. Like, where is it?
You're like, can you just show me?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you just like walk
They're like,
me over
it's
there?
like aisle 1, like tucked behind the produce.
Yeah.
Where they keep all the Mexican spices.
Mhm.
It's always in the same place in every
Yeah.
grocery store, and I don't know why they put it there. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
They have a whole aisle
Yeah.
dedicated to Hispanic foods.
Yeah.
There should be 5 aisles,
There should be.
but they have one whole aisle and like put it there.
Yeah. You would think. I feel like that happens with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Especially with like the chip clips that they have,
Yes.
that they put those like random little things on that are like hot sellers. It makes sense from a business standpoint why they do it,
Right.
but for convenience and
No.
trying to find something, no.
Yeah, if you're going to a grocery store for chip clips, go to the dollar store. But if you're like already there, oh, I need some of those.
Yeah.
Where are they?
They're never in the chip aisle.
No, never.
Never.
They're usually in the aisle with all of the cooking goods, which is also a baking aisle, which doesn't make
Right.
any sense. It's okay. That's almost like saying I'm gonna put my headphones, my ear, like if I had plugged in still the wired connection headphones,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put those in with my socks instead of my charging cables.
Yeah.
It's like what? That doesn't even
No,
make
it
sense.
doesn't
So
make
hard to even
sense.
think of some place that they wouldn't go.
Yeah.
You know what's a minor inconvenience?
Mm.
Tangled wired headphones.
Yeah. I haven't had to deal with those in a while.
I know, and I feel like this
Actually,
generation will never deal with that.
Yeah. I was going to say, my headphones for my Xbox, we play Xbox online together.
Yes, we do.
And I have like a really old pair of over-the-ear headphones that I bought like in high school before wireless was a thing. I don't even know if you connect wireless headphones to your Xbox?
Yeah,
oh,
you can.
I didn't know that.
The new ones are like $150, not even worth it.
No. But my old pair has the cord, and it did get tangled the other night. And I spent a good 5 minutes untangling.
See, so inconvenient.
It is really inconvenient.
Like when you were in middle school and you just toss your headphones in your backpack, and somehow magically they come out in this ball of just terror.
Yeah, it is the worst.
It's top like 10.
Yeah.
So we did a poll with all of our friends and our coworkers just to like kind of see where everyone was at, because you would think everyone's got their own things that irritate them, but I can guarantee you that 90% of the people we ask have pretty much the same minor inconveniences. Or if we're like, oh, what about this? They're like, yes.
Yeah.
Like everything that is minor and is a little bit of an inconvenience, everyone thinks the same.
Yeah. And when you first had the idea to do this topic, I was like trying to think of minor inconveniences. I'm like, I really can't think of any.
Yeah.
Like the ones that I was thinking of, you had already said. And I was like, I just can't think of any other ones. But then I like really dove deep, and I'm like, oh yeah, like that's one. My first one is having to poop after you shower.
Oh, that's the worst.
The worst.
That is the worst, because then you feel like you didn't shower.
Exactly.
And you need to get back in the shower.
Yeah. And I've done that a lot of times.
Yeah, I have too.
Like even if it's like an hour after I shower, I'm like I just showered and now.
And you're all clean, like ready to feel cozy in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. That's almost as bad as, that is probably worse, because that's a whole, like, you're really inconveniencing yourself to get back into the shower.
Yeah.
But when you get all cozy in bed, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, gotta pee. And it's not like, oh, I can wait.
Right.
It's like, gotta go now. And you're I'm just got comfortable.
Yeah. You like find your good, comfortable sleeping spot.
Yep.
And then you're like, I have to pee.
Yeah. That chaps my ass.
Yeah.
For sure. Just as much as if there's no cold spot on the pillow and it's just warm.
Whole thing.
The whole thing's warm. There's no like cold spot for me to like tuck my arm into.
Yeah. To cool off.
I can't stand that one.
Yeah.
That one really irritates me.
That's a good one.
Showering. You get out of the shower and you dry off, right? Okay. What do you do right after that? You dry off. You're completely dry. You're standing in the middle of your room naked. What do you do?
I look for a pair of, actually no, I would put lotion on first.
Oh, that's even worse. Okay, then what do you do?
Then I look for underwear.
Well, and then you put clothes on?
Yeah.
How annoying is it when you're trying to get dressed and you're still damp?
Yeah.
Or you're trying to get dressed and you had just put lotion on your legs and you're trying to...
Yeah.
I wear leggings 99% of the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like pulling up my leggings and it is the biggest task.
It is. And they'll stick.
Yes.
To like your calf. And then you're just like stretching them. The worst is when it snaps and it like it finally breaks, especially with like the leggings that aren't tight around the ankles, like the flare ones. Yeah. And then it's like finally lets loose and then it's like way too high and then you have to like shimmy it down your leg. Yeah, you like gotta put in work. Sometimes I start sweating.
And then it makes it worse. Because now you've got shower dampness, lotion, sweat. That's just as bad as the friend. Did you watch Friends?
Yeah.
The Friends scene where he's sweating, he takes his leather pants off, he tries to put them back on, he's using baby powder like a paste.
Yeah, Ross. Yes.
Oh, R.I.P. Matthew Perry.
Yeah. Or putting a sports bra on when you're a little damp.
At any point in time for me, putting a sports bra on is a task.
Yeah. It's especially like a good fitting one.
Right.
and then you get it over your head, but then it like rolls. Like in the front, you can like pull it, but in the back, and then you're like having to reach around and like try and grab the bottom to like pull it.
Yeah. You're basically fingering your bra down.
Yeah.
That's not even minor. That is a major inconvenience. It is very difficult to have to put tight fitting clothes on after any sort of like, you just got damp, you were in the rain. When you're in the rain, you try to take jeans off after the rain. Impossible. I was thinking about it today. I was in the bathroom at work, and again, if you haven't watched our previous podcast, I work at a medical facility, but just go watch the previous one. And so in my scrubs, I was wearing jogger scrubs today, which I almost never do anymore. But I'm in the bathroom trying to pull them up, and the band is like rolled itself in. So now I'm like trying to get them up, and I'm like, and they're tight on me. So I'm like making noises in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like just trying to get the freaking band to unroll itself, and then my underwear are rolled in there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, putting clothes on at any point in time is an inconvenience.
It is.
Totally. You had one. What was it about? It had something to do with clothes.
I have a lot.
Oh, something about your socks?
Oh yeah. When you're wearing no-show socks and they slowly slide off your foot as you're walking.
Oh, yeah. And it's like in your shoe and then it's underneath.
Yeah. And you just like feel it like, and then it gets to that halfway point, like right under your arch. And then it's just bunched. Especially if you're like walking with people and that happens. And they're like zooming and you're like trying to like grab it and pull it as you're trying to keep up with them, doing like this little hobble.
Yeah, and your neck's like,
yeah, literally. Yeah.
That's super inconvenient. I think I've just grown to live with it because I don't wear anything but no-show socks, and I think I kind of like it.
Ew.
Yeah, I know.
Why?
I don't know because
what
I don't
know. Like about it?
It's good arch support. I have really high arches.
Oh, okay.
No shoe supports my arches.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it just kind of cushions my foot there a little bit.
Yeah.
But I also think I hated it at first, and it was really inconvenient. And then I just stopped fixing it one day.
Right.
And now my socks came out from under my heel today at maybe like 9:30, and I didn't fix them until I left work today.
I could never. I could never do that. Absolutely not. That makes me like cringe. So I'm just thinking of the bunched up feeling under my foot all day. No.
Can you imagine if they did it in reverse? Like they came off of your toes? Yeah, that would not be okay.
No, that would not be okay.
You know what really irritates me is when I'm watching a movie and all of a sudden the audio unsyncs to the person talking.
Yeah.
And then you can't get it back.
No. And it's like, it could be like half a second off, but you notice it.
Yeah.
And it's just the worst.
It really, I can't finish a movie like that.
Yeah,
I have to either figure out how to fix it.
Yeah.
Or just not watch the movie.
Yeah.
Like when we're driving long distances, you know, we'll like to put on a little movie in the center console. And it's linked to Bluetooth. It never is on point.
No.
Never. And I can't even watch it, barely.
Yeah.
I just have to turn my head and listen.
Yeah.
It's like a boom bang fighting scene, and there's like nothing happening.
It's so delayed.
Oh god. I got a lot of good ones. What do you got over there?
Touching a burning hot seatbelt in the summer. Yeah.
Yes.
Or the steering wheel.
Anything that's black.
Yeah. It is just so uncomfortable. And it like, especially when you're in Phoenix during the summer and you reach for it and you just grab the metal and it seriously like burns your fingers.
It's searing.
Yeah.
It's searing hot. And then you have to sit there and wait. Or you just got to pull your sleeve over your hand and just like.
Yeah. And like awkwardly.
Try and shimmy it down there. You've got to like adjust your hand 4 different times.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is extremely inconvenient.
Yeah. Or like with this steering wheel, I'll drive with like two fingers like on either side, and I'll like go like this, trying to not touch it as it for like the, you know what I mean? No,
Not really.
because like you don't want to like touch the top, you know?
I usually just put my, because I can't drive with two hands. Like, I'm a worse driver that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually just like put my wrist with my
Okay,
sleeve up there and just kind of
that makes sense.
wax
You're
on.
wearing long sleeves in the
Wax on.
summer.
A lot of times, yeah. Because I don't want my skin to get damaged.
That's fair.
Especially when I'm driving. Probably I take that off
Yeah.
most of the time when I'm outside
Yeah.
with sunscreen on. But you don't notice how much sun damage you can get when you're driving.
Yeah.
And especially on your driver's side window arm. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, your left arm is going to get so much more sun damage. PSA to dermatology PSA.
I'm like thinking about all the times that I've never worn.
Yeah,
anything.
I keep something, at least something. Like if it's something light like this,
Yeah, that makes sense.
at least just to throw on. Because then I've got the AC cranking. And then I've got the AC cranking and I get too cold. That's mine doesn't have a temperature like number.
Oh, it's just like hot.
Right, it's like the basic package of this vehicle. So it's either like hot or like somewhere in between, but you don't know what those temperatures are. You can never get it just right. So I just crank it on all the way, and then if I'm cold, I just put my little shimmy on.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Have you seen the picture of the semi-truck driver?
Mm-mm.
And it like went viral for a while, like showing sun damage, because he drove semi-trucks for like 30 years or longer. I don't even know. But his face, the left side of his face was like super wrinkled, and this was like excessive sun damage. But it was like super wrinkled and looked just so aged and like saggy. And the right side of his face was like not like super tight because he was aging, but like way tighter and like nicer and looked younger because it was in the shade when he was driving.
Yeah, people's faces will age sideways. That's why a lot of times your left side is going to droop more.
Right.
Generally, you don't really notice it.
Yeah.
Because the majority of people who have an extensive amount of sun damage have worked outside or been outside their entire lives.
Yeah, there's a reason
and so you see like pretty much duality throughout your face.
Yeah.
But you will see, even then, you will see some more drooping, especially in your lines right here and in your like eyebrow drooping. It will be more. But that's if you've spent most of your life outside.
Yeah.
And in the sun. Like I spent my entire childhood at the beach, essentially.
Yeah.
My grandma put baby oil and iodine on me. This is not our generation. One time, because I was too white, because she is Italian and wanted me to be dark like her, and I fried. I was like 4 years old.
Oh my god.
I was as red as this couch.
Yeah.
And this couch is orange. It's like, I was burnt bad.
Yeah. There was one time me and my friends in middle school like purposefully laid outside on my deck, and we put super hot, or not super hot, oil, we put oil on us, and then we fell asleep in the middle of summer. We fell asleep outside, and my back, even her back too, we could barely put a shirt on. It was like lobster red.
That's a major inconvenience. A sunburn is a major inconvenience. Not necessarily in your like you're walking around and you're like, oh wow, this hurts, but when you have to put clothes, when you have to get in the shower.
And the shower's the worst.
Oh man, that is just there's nothing like it.
No. And my mom, I don't know why, she's always told me, oh, if you take a hot shower, it'll take the heat away.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like, okay, so I like crank it up and I'm just like crying, like tears. Not that I'm like sad, but I'm just like in pain, so much pain. And I'm like, it's gonna feel better after.
And it never does.
No, it never does.
But it's supposed to like help your body heal, because your natural instinct when your body is sunburnt is to I think you can go into like hyperthermic shock.
Really?
Because your body's not regulating heat properly.
Oh, that makes sense.
And so you're excreting heat.
Yeah.
But your body's not maintaining it.
Right.
That could be wrong, but that sounds right. I think I've read that somewhere, so I'm
I
gonna
really
go with quickly want to talk about the lift and peel stickers. You know what I'm talking about? The stickers that are like half of it you're supposed to lift up and then peel,
Oh,
and they never work.
yes.
And then they rip, and you end up having to like stab it 100 times.
Yeah. Like the the ones that like you put on cars.
What?
Those kinds?
No. Like that's on a bottle. Or like a condiment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. They never work.
They never work.
Never.
And then you're left with like
half of it.
And there's never any tabbies on the edges because they just expect the lift and peel to work. The lift and peel doesn't work.
And then you gotta like stick your finger. That's what I always do. I'll like stick my finger under and just it gets covered in whatever.
Yep.
And like pull it and then it slips.
Yep.
Because there's product on it.
Yeah, and meanwhile the other hand is like squeezing whatever it is. And so you've got this like excess up there.
Yeah, half the bottle's
Did you see
gone.
what I just did? Keep that in there for comic relief.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That one really irritates me because they're made to work.
Yeah. Maybe there's like a trick that the general population just doesn't know.
Like the creator was like, hey, let's make this really difficult for them, but it actually works. We know it does, but you have to do it the right way.
It's actually a really genius idea, but we're not going to share it with anybody.
That would be mean. Why would you do that?
Okay, something that really bothers me, I don't think it's a minor inconvenience, but back to the car sticker thing. So there's the stickers that like, there's like a bumper sticker that you just like slap on there, right?
Right.
And then there's other stickers that you get that you pull the white part off and then it leaves clear in the sticker.
Yeah.
So you put it on your car, which I don't even know why I know this because I don't have any stickers on my car, but you put it on your car with the clear and the clear sticks too. And then you peel the clear off. People do not know that. So they'll leave the clear like you're supposed to remove it.
So that it just leaves like an outline of something.
Yeah, but they'll yeah, exactly.
Right.
Or like
the family,
like a bird or something.
The family outline pictures.
Yes. Yeah. So like because they do the clear because it's easier to apply that way.
Right.
And then you carefully pull the clear off and it leaves the sticker. There are so many people that drive around Prescott with the clear part of the sticker. They just leave it on there forever.
And then until the edges start to peel up. And then they try to peel it then, but the whole sticker now comes off.
Yeah, exactly.
And you gotta use goo off to try and get it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I feel like that's a minor inconvenience when you're driving. Like just like hitting every red light when you're in a hurry.
Or people who honk at you less than half a second after the light turns green.
Oh yeah, seriously, stop. Stop.
No.
Why are we doing that?
Why?
I have used my horn on several occasions, but always when necessary. Like somebody's sitting there for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Like the lights turn red and green and red and green and red and green. And
and it's like, what are you doing? Like you're clearly not paying attention, so I need to give you a little motivation.
Right. Or somebody just like straight up cuts you off.
Yeah.
And I don't honk because I'm angry. I honk because I want them to know I'm there.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to slam on my brakes so that the person behind me hits me. Very frustrating. I really cannot stand when, oh, you know what I can't stand? I can't stand when somebody is driving 3 miles under the speed limit in the left lane. Get over.
That's one thing I like about Sheriff Lamb. He's a penal. I don't know how to say it. I don't think it's penal. Pinal County Sheriff, which is like, I think it's like Queen Creek.
Yeah.
In the valley.
Right.
He'll pull people over and he like puts up videos of him pulling people over because they're
oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. He wears the cowboy hat. Yeah.
He makes YouTube videos? Wait,
I think so. I've seen him like on Instagram. But yeah, it's in Arizona. And his deputies.
Pinal County Sheriff Office. Yes.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
He is really funny. I like
Fridays
him.
with Frank.
Yeah, the cartoon.
Fridays with... No, it's not cartoons.
Oh.
They're YouTube videos. It's called Fridays with Frank.
And is it like a sheriff's deputy?
Yeah, he's he's with the Penal County Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
And he pulls people over for stupid shit.
Yeah.
And he records the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Shout out.
Yeah.
We will tag you in this video. Maybe you'll want to do a collab with us. You want to come be on our podcast? We'd love to have you.
Love it.
There was another one I was thinking about. It has nothing to do with driving. Oh, you brought this up to me, and maybe I brought it up to you. Whatever the case, when you accidentally step in something wet with just a sock, and it's just the bottom of your sock.
Yeah, just the bottom.
Oh, you were talking about when you were in our bathroom.
Yeah.
And our mat was wet, and you stepped on it thinking, oh, nice, beautiful carpet.
Yeah.
It was just a wet shower mat.
Yeah.
Oh, my, that's...
Yeah, and my, like, thick Nike sock was wet for the rest of the night. But the funniest part is that I went to the bathroom, and then I came out, and I went to wash my hands, and I stepped on the mat, and it was it was sopping.
Yeah, soaking wet.
Sopping wet. And I, like, walk out, and I'm like, hey... like, my sock's really wet right now. And Alyssa's like, well, yeah. She's acting like I'm dumb. Like, it's my fault for stepping on that mat. And she's like, well, yeah. Keon got out of the shower. Keon's her boyfriend. Keon got out of the shower.
I don't think I said it exactly like this.
It was very similar. And he just stands right there. Like, and it was no big deal to her. And I was like, yeah, you're right. It's my fault.
You should have said, can I have some socks?
You're right, yeah.
I should have said, you want some socks? I should have offered. That was my bad, Cassie.
She had been drinking. Just kidding. She wasn't thinking straight. No, I didn't even think about asking for socks, honestly. I was just like, yeah.
Walked around my house with a wet sock.
Yeah.
There's rinse everywhere.
The dogs were like sliding on the wet spots. Yeah, I just sat uncomfortably for the rest of the night. But I was like, yeah, like, I guess that is, like, to me, after you said that, I was like, yeah, like, why did I step there? Like, it was my fault.
To be fair, like, you didn't know he had just showered?
No, I had no idea. And I wouldn't have known that he stands right there. Because there's, like, also a separate bath mat that's in front of the shower.
It's not like he's a small person.
No, yeah. It makes sense, though, that he would, like, move in front of the mirror.
The vanity, yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm the asshole. I get that.
No.
That's okay.
No, that's okay.
You know who's the asshole? A USB. When you plug it in, you can't figure out which fucking way it goes.
That's on my list,
Is it?
too.
Yes. So frustrating.
So, and it takes so many...
It doesn't matter
if you flip it the other way, it still doesn't work. It still doesn't work.
It's like the plug-in part is like,
yes,
get it in.
Yeah.
So frustrating.
That is super annoying. Another one I have is, I had this one before we got popcorn, but getting a popcorn kernel stuck in your teeth, like the shells,
like in the bottom of your molar.
Yes. When we were in Alaska, I had a popcorn kernel stuck, like, between my teeth, and I flossed, like, I tried everything. It wasn't until so, like, I was eating popcorn on the airplane there. It wasn't until the very last day that I got it out. It was like a solid, like, how long was it? 5 days or 4 days?
4 days, yeah.
That it was just driving me crazy.
That's super. This popcorn
I only have
so
one more,
good, by the way. And I think I saved this the best for last, at least for me, because this is something that I have dealt with for a really long time.
Okay.
When you have to sneeze, and you know it's going to be a loud sneeze, but you're somewhere that you're supposed to be quiet.
Yeah.
Like a church, or a wedding, or a library, or a funeral, and you know, you can feel it.
Yeah.
And it's just so loud, and the only way to muffle it is to like just bury your face.
Yeah, full face in.
When I was in high school, I used to have like really bad sneezes because I had sinus issues. I don't know what the case was. But went to Catholic high school. At the worst times, I would have to sneeze like he's like with the freaking I don't even remember what it's called. He's like this blood of Christ, and I'm just like achoo! So I got into the habit of like
Yeah.
and then it was habit, and then I couldn't kick it, and it was I was so self-conscious about it because I had this tiny little squirrel sneeze.
Yeah.
And it's just the most inconvenient. That is, I like hands down the most inconvenient thing when you really have to sneeze, and it's almost socially inappropriate to do so.
Yeah, and then it hurts too.
Yes, like right in here.
Yeah, yeah, it's painful.
You feel like your eyeballs are gonna pop out of there.
Yeah, every time I sneeze, like, and we're somewhere, even like if I'm at your house, I don't know why I do it. I feel like if I'm just in the presence of other people, I try and quiet it. And every time I'm at your house and we're with Keon, he's always like, "That's not good for you," or he like says something like that.
That's gonna kill brain cells.
Yeah, yeah. And he's like, "You just gotta let it out. Like, just let it out next time."
That's because he's like,
yeah. Yeah.
Like, what are you? What is that?
Yeah.
What is that?
What is that?
I'd have a normal sneeze now.
Yeah,
but I always like.
I always cover.
Yeah, always cover.
Mm-hmm.
I hear people like, achoo.
Yeah, especially in the car.
Oh,
when people do it in the car and it's like, okay, the air is on. It's just blowing all of that back here.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's disgusting. And then it's like when you know somebody does that. My dad does that. He'll be driving. He'll just like let it out, and he's a big believer in just like, yeah, let it all out. Just like Keon, he's like a firm believer in that. And then whenever I have to drive his car, that's all I can think about is how he's sneezed everywhere. And I'll like get a wipe out and just like clean every surface that I have to touch.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Okay, my last one is when you're washing your face and you have, whether you have sleeves on or not, and the water runs down.
Oh, that's a good one.
It is the worst feeling.
And it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
You
just
can't stop it.
On you, on the ground, on the cabinets.
Like fresh PJs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're soaking wet now.
Yeah. It's like nothing is worse than that.
That is absolutely hands down the most inconvenient thing. The most minor inconvenience, because really you could just counter that by like leaning over a little bit more and like if you like purse your elbows out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But that's also extremely inconvenient.
Yeah. And then you're not like getting all of what you need to
like
get
you
off.
really just gotta get in there.
Yeah. And your arms are gonna be like this.
I started putting a towel down in front of my sink.
That's smart.
No. Because the feeling of a wet towel
is worse.
Is almost worse. Like,
really?
For me, a damp towel, like it is so like when it's just so damp and it's cold damp now because it's been sitting there. Yeah. And people are always like, "Oh, you can reuse a towel." Like,
no,
ooh.
I'll never reuse a towel. I don't know what it is for me. Like, if I shower and then I like hang my towel up, and then I wash my face or like brush my teeth, then I'll reuse it. But if I go to take another shower, I don't know what it is. I have to get like a fresh, clean towel. Yeah. Maybe it's just that it feels good. Like it's like fluffy and
my towels are I will never reuse a damp towel. Now, if it's hanging up and it's drying completely. Like that's and it's completely dry. It has to be completely dry.
Yeah.
Then I'll use it again, maybe once or twice. But it's got to be my towel.
Yeah.
It's got to be my towel.
Nobody else's towel.
And I'm very like I know exactly which one I used last. I know where I hung it. If I didn't hang it, then it's in the laundry basket. Like, there's no confusion for me. But when somebody else uses your towel, and then you go to use it again and it's damp, and you're like, how is this still damp? And then you feel it, and it's like really damp. It's like, that's more water than I put off.
When you're like, I didn't use that. That was frustrating. You know who you are.
You know who you are. Mom. Not my mom. Love you, Mom.
Love
Thanks,
you, Mom.
Cassie's mom, for the popcorn.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yummy.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Comment down below in my wine glass if you have any other ones that we didn't hit. I feel like we
Mhm.
covered the most popular ones for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Let us know what you think our next topic would be. We're going to do what we want anyways, but we'd love to know your input. Anything else you got to say, Cassie? Episode 2?
Episode 2, coming to a close.
Coming to a close. Lots of technical difficulties.
And popcorn, though. So
And popcorn. Okay. Yeah, it's all okay.
Yeah,
and wine.
It's okay. And wine.
So join us next week.
Yep, for another episode
of The Worst Hour.
The Worst Hour. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
It's my demon voice.